That's what I tell myself to cope with and deal. Try to convince myself these several years were not even real. Try to convince myself the media was making this up. That if I wait here, Morpheus will be waking me up. But instead I'm in my bed, game over. I ain't even drank nothing, but I got a hangover. First I was drunk from the lies they were feeding me. Then I sobered up and realized they were mistreating me. I stumbled out my bed and tried my best to gain some sense of it. The reasons for the cover-up, the reasons for the censorship. Now I realize that Uncle Sam was not befriending me.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for hanging with me today. This is the final segment of my Friday episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. Coming soon, I don't know when, but we're dealing with some programming stuff. But coming soon down the pike, eventually, we're going to have a really awesome lineup in the 10 to 11 o'clock hour from Monday to Friday with all original programming. And coming soon after that, we'll be taking it from 1 hour to 2 hours. But again, you have to get all your ducks in a row, and we here at the Orion Talk Radio Network want to make sure that we give you guys quality programming. So, like my drill instructor used to say to me in boot camp, baby steps. So we're getting everything set up. We're trying to build you guys the best talk radio network that can be available on the internet for free to the listeners. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and, hanging out with me on Wednesdays and Fridays and then tuning in on Sundays. This Sunday, tune in. I'll be covering JJ's show, Against the Wall, with my good friend Will Miller, who his show debuts this week at 1 o'clock. Check it out on Saturday, tomorrow. 1 o'clock is Will's show. Check him out. I think you'll really like it. He's a smart kid, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he really knows his stuff. He's knowledgeable. He's smart. He's done his research. So, you guys really like his show. I give him a thumbs up. I give him my support. He'll be good to go. So check him out tomorrow, 1 o'clock on the Orion Talk Radio Network right here. It's Eastern Standard Time. All of our shows are Eastern Standard Time, just in case anybody's not sure. Check out our website, the Orion Talk Radio Network. No, wait, I'm screwing that up. I'm sorry. OrionTalkRadio.com. It's really simple. OrionTalkRadio.com. Check it out. All right. Get a pad and a piece of, the pad would have the piece of paper, a pen and a pad, and get ready, because I'm going to give you a list again of some important texts to purchase. I do this about once a month. I give you guys a list of books, and most of them are some of the same things that you'll hear me repeating. Other things might be added, newer stuff that I've picked up in my personal collection. But anything I tell you to read is a book that I've already read cover to cover at least once, if not twice. That's just the way I am. So don't think that nobody's paying me for this stuff. This just comes from my personal collection. So here we go. Check this out. One of the two first books, and I said this the other day, two of the first books that you want to get are JFK by L. Fletcher Prouty. Okay, JFK by L. Fletcher Prouty. It says JFK, and then the rest of the title is The CIA, Vietnam, and the Plot to Assassinate John F. Kennedy. And it's in case you're wondering, you want to make sure you get the right book. It's got a foreword and an introduction by Oliver Stone. Next it's published by Skyhorse Publishing, by the way. You can check them out at skyhorsepublishing.com. The next book, published by the same people, Skyhorse, is The Secret Team, again by Fletcher Prouty. Last name is Prouty. The next book you want to get is Target Patent, which I did a show on this a couple weeks ago, by Robert K. Wilcox. So the listeners probably know the Target Patent show. It was one of my Friday shows a couple weeks ago. Excellent, excellent book. Read it. Great book. Again, Me and Lee by Judith Vary Baker. You can find Judith's website, meandlee.com. The Mysterious Collapse of World Trade Center 7 by David Ray Griffin. Another great book by David Ray Griffin is Debunking 9/11 Debunking. You want to destroy anybody that's read the quote-unquote popular mechanics, book and article. You want to debunk the moron that used to go on Glenn Beck's show, the little weasel with glasses. I forget his name. The guy that used to be the editor for Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, him. You want to be able to debunk his crap and tear it apart knowledgeably, skillfully, and eloquently? Read that book cover to cover. You'll be able to destroy anybody that tries to, debunk, and I'm doing air quotes, 9/11 truth. One book. That's the kind of knowledge that book will impart to you. I'm not kidding. Another great book is Seeds of Destruction. You want to learn what's going on with Monsanto and all this stuff and all this GMO food by F. William Engdahl. You can go get it at globalresearch.ca. Great book. Seeds of Destruction. This book is insane. Okay? It'll blow your mind what they're doing to the food supply. And Henry Kissinger's quoted in there about using food as a weapon. It's really crazy. A couple Jim Marrs books. Rule by Secrecy, Rise of the Fourth Reich, and Crossfire. Crossfire is very important because it's a hard book to get. That's his book about JFK. That book is filled with a ton of information. It's not the only book you should get on JFK. There's another one. I don't have it. It's called JFK and the Unthinkable. I haven't gotten that one yet, but I do want to get it. I just don't have the currency flow right now to purchase anything. Money's a little tight, but I eventually want to get it. It's called JFK and the Unthinkable. Great, great book, too. I've already read some excerpts from it. It's a great book. Let's see. What else here? The Terror Conspiracy, Deception, 9/11, and the Loss of Liberty. That's another Jim Marrs book. Crossing the Rubicon by Michael C. Rupert. You'll learn about the Promise software in there and what was going on with 9/11 and everything else. And then you have, again, I've told you this once before, this is one of the most important books to get out of all of them, The Transformation of America. It's self-published by Kathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips, so it's the only place you can get it is from them. When you order it, it takes a couple weeks to get it, but it's really worth it. Of course, Bill Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse, just because you should have that to archive that. It's another good book to have. Again, I'm not saying every word. I agree with every word 100% in that book, but he really has some good information in there about what's going on. Jim Fetzer's book, American Assassination, The Strange Death of Senator Paul Wellstone. Very, very important. Very, very important. Okay? I've had Jim come on and talk about Wellstone's death before, and Jim's the same guy that's going to be on Sunday doing 4 hours of JFK with me. But this is incredible, okay? This book, you'll find out they killed Wellstone. It was Cheney and them, his little executive assassination ring. Another good book. Some people don't like him. I think he's a good author. David Icke. Check out The Biggest Secret. Even if you don't believe everything Icke says in there, it's still a very eye-opening book. And a really good book by James Scott, The Attack on the Liberty, The Untold Story of Israel's Deadly 1967 Assault on a U.S. Spy Ship. Very, very important book to have. There's tons of others. You can also, I suggest also getting The Secret Destiny of America by Manly P. Hall. You can find there's copies of it where people have, they took, it's The Secret Destiny of America and then America's Assignment with Destiny. And they put it into one book, and it's got his original drawings and everything. I suggest you get that because Manly P. Hall was made a quote-unquote honorary Mason. He was kind of like their little secretary, if you will, and he was, or their historian, and he chronicled a lot of stuff, and he was privy to a lot of information. They made him an honorary Mason. So obviously he was not some fly-by-night schmuck. So I suggest you check it out. Just look up The Secret Destiny of America by Manly P. Hall. His name is MANLYP Hall, HALL. And another good book to get, it's kind of like a time capsule, is None Dare Call It Conspiracy by Gary Allen. And Gary Allen is not with us anymore, but his book is really interesting because it was written back in the 60s, and when you read it now, it's really creepy because everything that he lays out about what they were going to do, and it's not even almost everything, how he says they're going to, advance the world government, and they're going to try to destroy the sovereignty, and how they're going to do it, and future wars, and what the excuses they're going to use, and what it could lead to, and this and that, and everything. He hit the nail on the head, and this is written back in the 60s. So it's important to have these books. It's important to have this stuff, and not in an ebook format. It's important to have it in a physical format, because if they lit off an EMP blast and not every nobody has their stuff in a lead-lined vault, there goes all the information. And then they could turn around and just try to rewrite stuff. So it's important to have these physical texts. I have books that are 200-300 years old. A good friend of mine who Jack Blood has interviewed, Steve. He's an author, Steve Alton. He's written a bunch of books, and I sent him as a gift a book that I had. It was like a little over 200 years old. To me, that's the best gift you could give to somebody. That's the best thing you could do, is impart a piece of knowledge to somebody. Everybody, most guys like cars and everything else, and I like a few things. I like a nice looking car or whatever, but my collector thing is I like books, because to me, knowledge is power.
This is Sparta!
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you took notes. I'll see you on Sunday, starting at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4-hour JFK episode with Jim Fetzer and Will Miller. And check out Will's show tomorrow. I'm out.